you know, just Monday, and even if you got on a suit and tie, I'm thinking of IBM and all this here. Your mind is only capable of thinking or perceiving what you program it to do.
All right.
You understand where I'm coming from? Mm-hmm. So when you hear right knowledge, it sounds crazy. That's because your mind is not trained to receive it. Mm-hmm. So when you start going way out, start believing in all kinds of miraculous and so-called crazy things, then your mind is being trained that it can receive higher thoughts. So then all of a sudden when a person comes in and says some way out stuff, you go, yeah, that happened. You understand? That's right. You understand what I'm saying? Because then you will be able to detect the spiritual. So you have to train your mind to detect the spiritual other than the physical. You can't serve two masters. So in order to grasp what I'm saying, you got to constantly be into the goddamn stars or be a motherfucking space cadet. That's what the little white kids are doing. Into all of the fantasy. What's the fantasy on the physical realm is reality in the spiritual realm, and there's nothing but the spiritual realm, because this is all.
It's okay. It's shut off for some reason.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
Ignorance is a disease. Not in the form where you say ignorance is an all-time high like a figure of speech. No, ignorance is really a disease. Amen. What it is if you program yourself, or if there's a certain energy, because knowledge is energy, and you have a certain energy that's a lack of energy, which means that your mind is mediocre, then after a while you'll find out that you'll get to the point of no return. You'll always be stupid. You got a stupid parents, stupid mama, and a stupid father. 99% of the time you're going to be stupid because it's a disease, it's hereditary. Seriously. And especially the mother. Because the father is, even if the father is very close, he's not in the situation, if he's the father that provides where he's going to be there. But a woman has a certain energy. And if your mama is stupid, goddamn it, you through. If your mama's stupid, that's why you always gotta, it's always good to get on the daughter. Because even though the male, but then again, the male does not transmit the same energy to the children as the actual mother does. But even if you got stupid parents, you're gonna be stupid, basically. And I'm saying it's a disease, whereas you gotta learn how to use your brain. Whereas I saw a brother, I met a brother on the train one day, and the brother, he was not used to thinking, period. So it might take him down 2 weeks to process something I said. Because he wasn't used to thinking, because it's actually a disease. Now on the other hand, if you notice this too, if you take some older people out here that's beyond 50, and this has nothing to do with you because you're an advanced breed of people. You're light beings, but we are making observation of the greater society. Just beyond 50, and they just like real passive, and just real people that basically, you know, just so damn passive till they're stupid. But if you can go back to somewhere in their 30, they had a certain energy about them that you wouldn't think that that's the same person that's in the 50s. That is because you got a certain energy that's in you. Not you, because obviously, for the mere fact, because we have some people that's over 40, but for the mere fact that you are here is because you always thought a certain way all your life. You was a stranger, you know, you probably didn't, sometimes you didn't tell motherfuckers, but you was thinking all kind of shit in your life. You was born that way because you were an advanced soul, you were an old soul. And most conscious people, even the younger ones, you thought a certain way all your life. You understand what I'm saying? But you got certain people out here, there's a certain energy that you have. And as you get older, it dissipates. It starts to actually wear down. That's why they say brain cells burn up. Now what happens is, the one thing that makes these things burn up is this. The brain only goes to other realms based on you giving it something new to ponder on. See, it's like a muscle, and it can only It can only, a muscle can only expand based on friction, or based on contradiction, or based on trial and error. It's got to move, it's got to be in motion. If you have a routine daily life, in and out, by a certain time, if your energy does not get a new concept or a new, some kind of new situation, you understand what I'm saying? It will eventually die out. It's like if you take a damn a tin can, and if you keep water in it so long, the damn bottom will rust out and the water will come out, or either the water will evaporate. Same thing with actual energy. If you notice, people that's real stupid at an older age, where they say, oh, he's old and he can't understand, he's stuck in his ways. That's because they had a routine life. So as a result, America has a mind control over everybody. They say we want a routine life, even if you are so-called upward mobile. We want it so that 98% of the things you do every day in and out is the same routine shit. So somehow they can shut down that brain energy.
Yes, sir.
Now, we understand that white people can't take our energy.
Check.
It's not based on racism that you think of with just some political terms. You know, the black bourgeoisie always got some excuse for the white man. Well, you know, it's because they're ignorant. If they ever learned about us, they wouldn't be racist. Wait a minute, I ain't never known no motherfucking white man ever oppressed us that didn't know all about us. Because a dumb motherfucker don't have the power to oppress nobody. It's always the wise of them.
Yes, sir.
Every cracker that ever did something that affected your life, not no cracker in Alabama jumping around some damn sheep telling he don't like no nigga. I'm talking about people who affect your life. They are brilliant people. That's called cleverness. The devil there's no thing never said that the devil, even if you deal with the mythological devil, was no dummy. Otherwise you couldn't have your ass. Check. So they always say they're learning, and it ain't got nothing to do with that. There's a certain energy that you give off that they can't take. And if they come into that particular energy, they automatically go against it. In the Gnostic scriptures, they say there's three races of men: the spiritual, the psychic, and the physical. The spiritual is the original race of people. That's why you can't do shit in the physical that go right for your ass. Then there's the psychic. That's a person somewhere in between. Maybe some people in Tibet or some forms of India where the caste system where they semi can deal with both worlds. And then there's the physical. A person that functions in the physical world and he's good at it. But they say that physical person cannot take the spiritual person's energy. Now that's in the Gnostic scripture. So that means that they're talking about the white man, he can't take your energy. Now, when certain energy in you, if you are routine, starts to burn out at a certain age. If you notice, you know white people love old black people. You see they love an old black man. They love an old black man and an old black woman. You see what I'm saying? Mr. Charlie, Uncle Remus, and Aunt Jemima type shit. Hattie McDaniel type shit. They like that type of person. You see, because the energy has started evaporating to the point that they can take the energy. Whereas a young person, they can't take. Take, for instance, down in Atlanta, they got the MARTA bus system and the rail system. They don't hire a black woman or a black man under 30. They don't hire one probably under 35. Most of the sisters are either in their 60s or 50s or 40s, and the brothers are the same thing. And that's because they can depend on those people. Now you get on the bus, ain't nothing, you and two other niggas on the bus. And you be goddamn a dime short. Motherfucker like, you gotta, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, you gotta pay this shit. That's the science, but also it's the actual energy. So when the cat from Philadelphia a couple of months ago, the white boy and lawyer saying the best people to pick for your jury is some older black people from the South and all that type of stuff. They're talking about people that their energy is also burned out. You see what I'm saying? Also burned out. So that's why they can take that actual energy. That's why it's now That's why it's great to, you got to start thinking of things on a higher level. That's why if you notice with the Afrocentric movement, they was all into the history. Then they had certain people they couldn't get with the metaphysical thing. You understand what I'm saying? That was the reason why they couldn't get, because their minds was not trained to perceive certain things on a greater level. You understand what I'm saying? So in the Gospel of Thomas, he said, tell me what the kingdom of heaven is like. He said, I tell you what, you won't find that motherfucker looking for it. You see, which means with these two eyes is a cheat. You see, they say if you,
all right.
Yeah, the Saul nigger. If you notice, you go all over the Niger River. The word negrito. Necronomicon. It's also, it means dead, but it's also the death is life and life is death, which is also the blackening stage. It's an alchemy term. And alchemy is the study of melanin. So when you say my nigger, in actuality, certain words fuck white people up. So they got Jesse Jackson in 1988 to start saying African American. Right. And they brought that out now. If you notice now, it's the N word, but see, that's fucking them up too. Because even the word N, if you look in the pyramid text, you will see Osiris and you'll see the word N behind him. So even that word denotes that same cosmic energy. So it's this thing now that they're trying to deal with this whole N thing that's dealing with this. Now, I'm going to deal with some stuff here. I want to deal with some stuff. First of all, based on your guy that studied the Messiah, he studied the Messiah energy. He studied Sufism for 6 years. His name is Frank Herbert. He wrote the book Dune. And the movie came out, Dune, in 1994, but the series of the movie Dune. Anyway, Frank Herbert, he was commissioned by the government to write this particular stuff, and they just got all this particular information and they put it in the book Dune. Anyway, which was released in 1965, 100 years after the Civil War, or after the Emancipation Proclamation, which is talking about the Messiah and the rising of a certain thing that went down. But also, they talked about the year 1091. 1091, there will be a Messiah that will rise up. Well, it's also talking about the Christ energy, but in 1091, the white man got on and said, we're going to raise up us a Messiah. Now, 1091 is, you would think, they would say the year 1091, you would think that that particular year 1091 is an actual year in the later future. But in actuality, if you understand 10, which is the 10th decade started in 1990, because after the 10th decade, we're going to the year 2000. So 1091 will be 1991. And they talk about a Messiah rising up. Now, Messiah rising up out of a war that's fought in the desert of Dune. Dune is the sandstorm, or Dune, which is a sand hill. That's talking about the Persian Gulf. Now, 1091 at that particular time, they was talking about a Messiah. Now, you remember if you heard people say, even Brother Dawood talked about, a couple of people talk about, whereas the white man, he don't want to be the Antichrist, or he don't want to be the Christ now, because every time they put Christ in the name, they end up dead. Like your boy over here, David Koresh, because Koresh is a Jewish word for Messiah, as well as this guy they had, this rabbi that the Jews had, the Bobovich Jews are raised up to say they had this Messiah. They was talking about 93. They had this Messiah, this old rabbi, and he ended up dying in 94. So the white man say, look, we gotta go ahead and we gotta pick a black person. So as a result, the Messiah is supposed to come back and supposed to be a warrior, like Horus or here we supposed to avenge the father, supposed to be a warrior. So they say, well, we gotta pick us a black person that we can follow, and maybe we can get some of this energy, and maybe we can be fought by him. So they're looking for a New Age Messiah, which they got several people in mind. He even approached my ass. Ain't that a bitch? Fucking cracker Codio, you know. Yeah, I'm telling you, he did it in Atlanta. Some white people came up to me. I said, we heard you speak. We want you to come and teach us some things. I said, I don't speak. I don't know what the hell I always play dumb with them. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't speak. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, they're looking for that, but they already have the what is called a government Messiah. Because if you get the book, The Messianic Legacy, in that book, Messianic Legacy, they always talk about how even all the actual presidents and stuff is lined up under the same energy of the Messiah. they take the president and they pick the president that they deal, he's following the role of Jesus. They actually got it from the ancient Hebrew, the Pharaoh who was following the role of the Christ horse, but it was on a spiritual path. So they're doing it this way, and that's the way they can keep in power by following certain messianic laws. So in there they say they got to get a messianic black messiah, a government black messiah. So as a result, they pick Colin Powell from the Persian Gulf War. And that's why you saw, what's his name played him both in Independence Day, then during Christmas they played him, Paul Winfield played him in Mars Attack, which was an awesome movie. You see what I'm saying? And that's Colin Powell. And so now if you notice the summit that they had in Philadelphia, now you know the first black church was started where? Philadelphia, Richard Adams. You see what I'm saying? With the African Episcopal Methodist Church. One that was outside of the branch of what the white man started, you see, was Richard Adams. Some of the first black people to rise up, abolitionists, was Philadelphia. Plus you understand the relation of Philadelphia in the book of Revelation. That's why you get the book, Robin Robertson's book, Beginner's Guide to Revelation. There's a chapter in there about the Philadelphia, the Church of Philadelphia. So Robin Robertson's book, Beginner's Guide to Revelation, a must-read book and a must-have book because it deals with holographic universe, it deals with the Hopi, deals with Dogon, deals with Egypt, it deals with all that because he's not a Christian in so much as he's a Jung psychologist. Yeah, Jung. Anyway, the Church of Philadelphia, so they had that summit in Philadelphia, which they raised up Colin Powell as the new Messiah. That's what he is.
Yes.
Because now he was a Republican, now that motherfucker now is straight up everything. He's cross-party. So the only thing he had to do to keep on black people's side is not talk bad about affirmative action. He was in there. So he even went to the damn Republican convention and said, I ain't down with knocking down affirmative action. But he got the white people's side and they hooked it up that way so he can be a vote. And all of a sudden he said, I'm going after the kids and talking about inoculation. You see, we shoot up some niggas with some death. But anyway, he's the new Messiah. Now they're looking for a new age Messiah. They're trying to pick a couple of people. So they came to me, want me to do that. I said, yeah, I know what y'all trying. Y'all motherfucker want a nigga to save y'all ass. So now they're looking at Delbert Blair. They're very key. They're looking at Delbert Blair real hard. You see what I'm saying? But what it is they want some people to save them. You see what I'm saying? They was looking at the Farrakhan thing, and that was that whole thing with the Million Man March. They're looking for a black Messiah. You see what I'm saying? To save them. But see, now they're looking for somebody who knows metaphysical things. You see what I'm saying? So the sister started playing my tapes. I don't get on TV live, but she play a video. That's different. She started playing my tapes in New York, had Shap suit. The next thing I know, white people calling up. You want to get in touch with this man? She said, well, he don't fuck with crackers at all. But they looking for a Messiah. Very key on that particular thing. Now let me get a few things. What time is it?
10 of 9.
Okay, 15 minutes. Let me get a few things out of the way. We rode it pretty good. Last summer, now you got to realize, this is a hologram. It's an illusion. It does not exist. The only thing that exists is light and your thoughts. So if they can control your thoughts, they can somehow slow down the process. But the process is speeding up so much now until they can't do it because it don't take the masses of the people to do this shit no more. They used to control and slow down stuff based on the masses' thoughts, but now it only takes the people in this room. You see what I'm saying? Or one or two niggas to be on the game and shit. So hey, I'm already fucking them up. So now so what it is, but that's not stopping them from trying. They say we ain't got nothing to lose, but they understand based on thought, there ain't nothing else. This is nothing but a magnified screen playing, and you can't break the cycle of looking at something that ain't real for something that's real that you can't see. You see what I'm saying? This is an illusion. So they understand this is a hologram. Michael Talbot's Holographic Universe. Get the book. It's dealing with the quantum physics holographic universe. Now, based on that, they understand that they can stop a certain thing from coming. They try to slow things down. Now, what's happening is this. In 1994, the Dogon did the Sigi ceremony, which is the sacred dance, which means once the dance is done, it's over. You go into what is called a null zone or null period, which means It's not even time anymore. It's just like a way station. And it's a series of emanations just actually petering out. It's just like this shit is breaking. You ever see a TV when you're trying to watch some shit and the shit breaking out, where the static is coming in and you can't, and it's fading out like that? That's what's happening with this shit that's going on right now. That's why that's why it's hard to get in contact and control with your physical bodies and make shit happen, because it's all breaking down. The hologram is breaking down. But they're trying, so ever since the Dogon did this Sirius ceremony in 1994, we've been in this null period. The Dogon did the Sirius ceremony and the white buffalo was born and they had the Jupiter effect. So as a result, they knew this, so they start programming. They said we can change the people's mind by trying to get them, by taking the incoming current, which is the Heru current or the Christ current, and making it negative. So what they're doing to the masses is, they started in 91 where they made Ra evil in Stargate. Excuse me, in 94. 95 they put out Species and they made the alien evil. Okay? 96 they came out with Independence Day and made the alien evil as well as the Arrival. So 97 they're coming out with Men in Black, cleaning up the scum of the universe.
Will Smith again.
Now in each movie, Independence Day, Species, Arrival, Stargate, and Fifth Element, it's backfired. A lot of shit in that motherfucker was throwing down, but even the big black ball and stuff that was supposed to wipe up the earth, that's positive. So they got the little white girl to try to stop it. But in the Fifth Element, as well as this new Men in Black, they always got black people in this shit. And some of the main players, like Will Smith, they got him using him as the battery. See, the key is for the black man to do it in the minds, not white people, but black people to clean up the scum of the universe. So based on, if you understand quantum physics, they are trying to prolong some stuff by keeping a certain energy from being positive. Even Spielberg said, now why are you going to make a movie with all these millions, Independence Day, and make the damn aliens negative? Why? Hell, we've been trying to establish contact for the longest. Because he'll fake you and he know their time is up too.
Mars Attack.
You see Mars Attack, which was the winter solstice.
What about the Charlie Sheen movie?
Yeah, Arrival, that's the summer solstice. See, the key is they're doing it near the summer solstice because that's the most time when the melanin energy in you rises up. So that's the highest point. So that's why they're putting the negative alien movies. And in the winter solstice, they came out with Mars Attack this time, negative alien movie. Although the shit was powerful because the Martians was black and they was fucking up shit. But still, yet they're doing one thing, but they're projecting another thing to the people that don't know what time it is. You still think that alien is negative. And they're doing this particular energy to stop a certain flow of energy. Because they know every time the summer solstice comes, and based on the Dogon Sirius ceremony, after the Sirius ceremony, every time the Sirius rises on the summer solstice, it could mean the end for them. So they got past 94, they got past 95, and they got past 96. So they're scared every year the summer solstice because it could mean the end for them. You understand? So that's why they're coming out with Men in Black. Very key that you understand this on why they're coming out with this particular thing, and they're using Will Smith as the melanated battery to bring this thing out. You see what I'm saying? To bring this thing out. Very key that you understand that particular part that they're actually dealing with. Now, even Jurassic Park. The first one was about DNA cloning, basically.
Right.
That's what the movie was about. It wasn't about dinosaurs, it was about DNA cloning.
Right.
But since the dinosaurs are the only thing that was here when the ancient black man, if you take dinosaurs and substitute it for ancient black Atlantean man, and you got it. That's the shit, the DNA cloning of the ancient black man. And so the new lost world was Atlantis. And trying to get back to that particular other realm to save their damn self. That's what the key is. That's what the whole thing was about. DNA cloning. I'm going to get into another thing in a few minutes. I want to get into some other stuff in 15 minutes. Now, there's a discrepancy. We know that July 23rd, Leo is the rising of Sirius, but on the other hand, we also know that June 19th and June 20th is the first start of the summer solstice, which is also might be the rising of Sirius, because if we go by this calendar, it could be a couple of months off, or a month off. So as a result now, one thing in spiritual is happening is that when? On when?
On
The 20th. Now this is the powerful thing about June 20th. Which is what, Friday?
20th.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Friday.
Saturday, 21st, I got to be in Philadelphia. Saturday. 21st is a Saturday because I got to speak in Philly on the 21st, so it's Friday. And yeah, I know it's the 20th because they're releasing Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Now, this is the key. Well, you got to understand this. This is very spiritual.
I shall be out that day.
It's very spiritual that you understand this. This is the symbol.
Yeah, Rich. Give me something.
This is the symbol. I'll show it to you. If you see the symbol, instead of the bat, they'll show a picture of Batman and they'll show a picture of a bird, Robin. That's the symbol. Everybody see the symbol, the new symbol? What that represents, the bat is a Vodun symbol for melanin. That's Harpacross, Heru Parkrot. That's the inner child, the golden child, or the magical child. Put out a movie called The Golden Child. Put Eddie Murphy in it. The magical child, that's your inner self, inner subconsciousness, called a mentor. The black dot. The most deepest part of the subconsciousness, the core of melanin, the Akash, where you get the word Akash, Akashic records. Now, that's what the bat is, a Vodun, a voodoo symbol, a Vodun symbol of melanin. The manifestation of the melanin from the manifestation of the melanin, when the melanin finally manifests, it turns into Horus, or Heru Kru, Ra, Har-Q, or Ra-Heru Kahudi, which is the manifestation Horus. Harpacross, or Heru Parkrot, is the latent, unmanifest Horus. Ra-Heru Kahudi is the manifest Horus. In Christianity, it'll be the dove. In Native American, it'll be the eagle. In Egypt, it would be the falcon. Or the hawk. And that's why Atlanta have the Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta Hawks. That's all spiritual. That's the spiritual hub of Stone Mountain, which the capstone of the Great Pyramid, the only granite they found for that is Stone Mountain. It's the only place in the world where the capstone of the Great Pyramid, they found that. That's why all black people was flocking there. There's a certain energy there. Now, Ra-Heru Kahudi is the dove or robin. So it's Batman, which is the subconscious, and Robin, which is the manifestation of the subconscious into the physical, which is the Christ energy. Batman and Robin. But if you understand Egypt, you understand this. In Egypt, in Esoteric Hebrew, there's a threefold messianic trinity. It's just like there's a trinity of the Mother, the Father, and the Son. There's a messianic trinity too. That's yours? No, that was hers. There's a messianic trinity. Let me explain what the messianic trinity is. You have Ra-Heru Kahudi, which is the manifestation, and you have Harpacross, which is the unmanifest. And then you have Mayat, which is the feminine element. So it's three forms of that. Mayat, so it's called Har, Ma, Ku. Har, Ma, Ku, or Harmachis, which means Horus on the horizon. The Great Pyramid is called Harmachis. Abu, father of the globe, or Har-Ma-Ku, word made truth. Horus, Heru, Har, Ma, Maya, and Ku, which means pyramid, unification of the masculine and the feminine. In the esoteric Hebrew, it's called Shekinah, the feminine element. So Mayat is the third trinity. So in the movie Batman and Robin, you got Batman, which is Osiris. That's what it is. Osiris is Harpacross laying dead in a mentor. That's who Osiris is, or Osir. That's Harpacross, Heru Parkrot, the dead Osiris, which is the deep part of the subconscious that's died and covered over with the physical body. Then you have Ra-Heru Kahudi, which is the manifestation of Osiris, his son manifesting out to avenge him, which is the energy of you raise it to your higher level. And both of those bring on the feminine energy combined. Osiris and Horus represent Mayat, the winged Isis, which is the feminine energy. So you got Batman, you got Robin, and you got Batgirl in the new movie, which is Mayat. And they are taking on and killing who? The Iceman, Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
And Poison Ivy, the goddamn white woman that everybody thinks is so beautiful and so sweet that every time a nigga get in with her, he get fucked up. Poison Ivy.
Check.
If the white man the devil, she's the mother of the devil. Come with the docile bullshit, but she's more powerful than the cracker. Poison Ivy. So Batman and Robin and Maya, which is the Christ energy, is taking on both Mr. Freeze in the movie, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Poison Ivy, played by Uma Thurman. But you got the Batgirl. All this shit is mythology. All this stuff is mythology, and they study mythology. So that might fuck them up because it's coming on the 20th, which is might be the start of the summer solstice, because we understand June 19th is Juneteenth, which is the original date of slavery being over. Right. And the number 19 that Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about. Very key that you understand this mythology, because they put it out in the actual movies. Astrological. That's why they had to come back out with the Star Wars trilogy the last time. Somehow they're trying to kick our ass with it, but it's working against them because the Star Wars trilogy is nothing but the Osiris story. I'll explain it later on. You know, I'll explain it later on. Then later on, they're coming out with a movie later on called, they already got the cartoon being aired on HBO. It's called Spawn. Spawn is a black man in the cartoon. He's a black man that so-called went to hell, but he came back up to do good for some reason. But the only thing he want to do is he want to get back with his black woman. That's the main shit. That's all he want, is he want Wanda ass. That's what he left behind. He do everything. The only thing he can think about is his goddamn sister he left behind. She hooked up with another brother, but that's all his shit is. I gotta get back to this black woman. And all right. And it's a cartoon called Spawn. So now they're coming out with the damn movie Spawn in August, which this black man is supposed to be sent to Earth to battle this other demon, which is this Joker-like thing they show in the thing. You know, the white man is a Joker. To battle this other demon who got this virus that's coming out. So the movie Spawn, you see, the movie Spawn is they bring out all this particular stuff at this particular time. At this particular time. So now, what time is it? 5 after 9. She wanted to ask me, do they want to take a break?
I think she's still cooking, so.
Okay, you go and ask her, let's see what she want to do.
Okay.
Does she want me to keep on going or what? Okay, let's keep rolling then. What she want to do?
What person?
She want to keep, I can keep on going and tell her.
Go ahead.
Okay, I can keep rolling hell. Just get, you know. Okay. All right, the first thing I want to deal with right now is this Africa plan. This is very key that you understand this. Very key that you understand this. The white man has what is called news and ghost news. Real news you don't even get. That's unavailable to the American public. Then there's what is called ghost news. Even the imagery is choreographed. So what the white man does is he'll go in and he'll take certain spats, 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, certain spats of conflicts in Africa and footage of this conflict. And he'll show you that on TV and you think the shit is current. See what I'm saying? You think it's current. First of all, you think it's current because, see, they don't have fashion over there like we do, so therefore, you can't detect no fashion. You know, if you went back to 89, niggas was wearing high top box fades and shit, so you said that's some old footage. The fashion change up over here, you know what I'm saying? Or if you went back to 83, motherfuckers, 98% of everybody had Jerry curls. You said that's some old ass footage. But everybody went back there Jerry curls. You know. Huh?
The vehicles stay the same too.
Yeah, right. The vehicles and all that, and fashion and even technology is all the same over there. So they can take some footage from the damn 80s, 90s, late 80s and early 90s, and you won't even know what the hell is going on. You understand what I'm saying? You won't know what the hell is going on. So what they have is what is called a ghost history. They're feeding you some shit with Rwanda and Zaire and all that. That's footage, and they'll tell you what the hell is going on. Now what's really happening is you get Richard Noon's book. Just came back out again, Ice, the Ultimate Disaster. What is called Richard Noon's Ice 2000. Richard Noon's Ice, the Ultimate Disaster is what it's called. 5/5/2000.
Oh yeah.
Fifth of May.
May 5th, 2000. 5/5/2000. Richard Noon book just came out. In there, he tells you that the estimate of the United States government and the world government, the secret government, is to clean everybody off the continent of Africa, and that was supposed to be the white man's last retreat. Some reason he feels that he can save himself if he get on the motherland.
He gonna get it.
He don't
Slow down. As a result, what's going on the continent is they're showing you a ghost thing. Certain history of all over the continent they fighting. And they show you this shit. You see them niggas over there acting crazy. So therefore, when they clean it off, you'll go, well, yeah, we did hear on the news that they cleaned it off. They always set you up to have an explanation for what they do. So as a result, what's happening is, what you looking for? Oh, okay. As a result, what is happening is this. They got what is called a ghost history. And they're actually got mass dumping grounds. And they got bodies by the million. What's that?
1 minute.
Oh, damn, I just got into the Africa thing. Well,
All right, well, we gotta eat.
yeah, okay, I tell you what, and they,
Right now.
and they got this thing whereas I can see it. You gotta program yourself to see shit. First of all, you just gotta allow the vision to happen. And they're actually killing thousands and millions of people on the continent. And they're using the bodies for melatonin also too. They're using the material. They just dump it. They're cutting off most of the stuff. And they're wiping it out so they can come in the year 2000 and have a safe haven. We're going to end right there, and when we come back, we're going to get back into this Africa thing. Okay? We're going to get back into that.
All right, everybody, the meal's downstairs. Everybody get $1 drink with the meal.
Check.
All right, so we back after the break. And what I was talking about, I said in Richard Noon's book, they talked about how they was going to go to Africa. Basically, the secret government was going to go to Africa, and they was basically going to wipe Africa out. They've been doing this since the late 80s, early 90s, and basically all of what you see of Africa is wiped out now. Now, don't get upset, because I'm going to explain something in a few minutes. Now, call me on that if I don't come back to that. First of all, I want to give you some things on what's going on with Africa. The secret government, actually, as a result of cloning Mandela, because Mandela was a clone and a government operation, to see how they could do this whole thing. After that, they started the cloning of all African leaders. And as a result, now Mandela was released in the spring of 1990. By the first part of 91, by the spring of 91, if you notice, all the African countries started having wars. Ethiopia, Liberia, Somalia, all these particular countries all over started having these things. That's because they started putting clones up in there to start a lot of this particular thing. And basically, you know, Ethiopia, Liberia, all over the place. And as a result, what is happening here is they're starting these particular little small spats, but they give it to you, and as a result, it gives them the chance to come in and kill two birds with one stone. Number one, they're just cleaning off the mass population of Africa. They're cleaning out. Except few major cities, which a city is always one of the smaller gathering groups than regular countryside. So all you gotta do is just watch National Geographic or any place. They always show these damn animals. There won't be a goddamn Africa nowhere in place. I'm like, damn, now hell. I mean, they show animals. They be out in the bush for months. It take them weeks to get complete animal shots and stuff to kill and all that. You don't never see Africa. All this barren land and stuff, right? So right there, that lets you know that majority of Africa they have cleaned off. They have cleaned off. So they're cleaning off mass bodies. The other thing is they're using material and grinding it up as melatonin, as well as other genetic research material. Which you got melanin camps in Africa where they grind and they pack it and all that, and refrigerate it and ship it. And they ship it to Europe and United States and United States for melatonin companies. And that's what's also happening, as well as other melanin research-based things also, based things as far as anything from deep neuro information, brain information, just about anything you can imagine would make Nazi Germany look like doggone a sandbox at a kindergarten. So that's what they're doing. Number one, also, if you notice, they got this black guy. He came out. He's from Washington Post, and he's talking shit about Africa. Wrote this book.
Oh yeah.
That's a government clone. They clone him and make him talk shit about Africa, and telling you that you need to forget Africa. So when they clean it all off, they would already try to make the actual flavor that what's going on. So he wrote this book about how fucked up Africa was.
Armstrong
Greenberg.
No, not Armstrong Williams.
Greenberg.
No, it's the guy who worked for the Washington Post.
Yeah.
Armstrong Williams is the biggest Uncle ever lived, based on his age. Because he's only from a couple of, I grew up in that nigga. He lives in a small town, Britton's Neck, South Carolina. It's only a couple of miles up the street from where I'm from, Mullins. So, and I know him and all, His problem is he's homosexual, number one.
That's what I thought.
And and he was fucking Stedman, what's his name, boyfriend?
Oprah's boyfriend?
Yeah, he was fucking Stedman.
Business partners.
Huh?
Supposed to be business partners.
Business partners and all that, but it was also butt buddies. Yeah. Sugar bridges.
Is that why she really won't marry?
Well, yeah, she caught him in the bed with a nigga. And all. But this other guy that wrote this thing and all, he's a clone and he's trying to make this particular flavor to try to introduce everybody that African and stuff. So then they took Eddie Griffin, the old clown that comes on UPN with Malcolm Jamal Warner, whatever his name is, with the big hat on. He did a HBO special called Voodoo Child of all things, and he talked shit about Africa because they done cloned him to make him. It's all this shit is anti-Africa now. So telling you to forget about it so they can, and they're basically wiping the actual continent off, and most black people saying it's fucked up now. So they do that. They did that for an actual reason. Now it's interesting because the truth always come out. They had the guy on TV, the guy from Washington Post. He was talking about how fucked up Africa was. And niggas was calling and talking shit too, because they could always, we so stupid, being programmed, don't even know, what the deal is. So now, as a result, and also it's to break this tie with us linking back with our culture too. You see, they're doing, it's a multi-dimensional type thing that they're doing, multi-purpose. Also now what happened was, when he was on the TV show, and the spirit always can come through and let you know what's happening. I said, that cat there's a clone. I already know it, talking shit. And then he said, well, they said any part of Africa that's great. He said, yeah, Mandela is doing great things for Africa. And this is his words, what he said. He says, too bad. He said, they're cloning sheep now. This is what the cat said. He says, too bad that they can't clone other African leaders like Mandela. And right then I say, damn. This motherfucker, I said, spirit right there to tell you what time it is. This is what the cat said. But right there that lets you know what's happening. But anyway, what they have done is basically, believe it or not, other than a few little cities, popular cities that we usually go to, the majority of Central Africa and East Africa and all these particular parts is basically wiped out. Millions of people dead. The population is almost, I can see it. You can program yourself to actually see things if you get back to that science. And I actually see them, they just basically, it's like a whole Holocaust and the whole Africa is wiped off. Unfortunate for them, what they don't realize is, first of all, you only kill it in the physical body. You understand what I'm saying? And that energy will be used to fight them, because once they're free to soul, that soul is free to have a certain amount of energy that we are supposed to use to kill them off. Now, The other thing is, what they didn't realize was that the people that incarnated into Africa now are newer souls. The older ancient Egyptian and ancient African empire, Lemurian or Atlantean African or Camamorian, which Camamoria is one of the greater names to call Africa other than Africa. Those particular souls are here in the West. Mainly in the United States and throughout the Caribbean, but mainly here in the United States, and they're in the West. So those are most of the ancient souls, because they said the Son of Man will be in the West. So as a result, they fucked up. They should have killed us all right after they got out of slavery, because this shit is, it's been prophesied that way. So the souls that incarnated into Africa was new souls. It was only supposed to be there and then be freed anyway. But it's not the type of ancient Syrian energy that is supposed to go to redeem the planet, or supposed to be used to redeem the planet. Those souls are in the West, and we are those particular Godhead souls right now at this particular time. As a matter of fact, we are in you know, basically, and I'm just saying this, I'm talking about the ones that woke up now. Is heading this war. What's that, brother?
What was it? Not Gerald Manson? One of his books, he talks about the migration. The only ones that hadn't left, I think it was the ones in America. I think he was alluding to that, that statement.
Yeah, well, we're the most ancient souls are in here, because we had to go through, see, slavery was the spiritual necessary. And we had to go through slavery to be made a new person, to be the only person that can perceive anything of a newer dimension, because other people are too rooted in the culture. We had to totally lose our culture so we are the only right material that can perceive anything of another other dimension. If you notice, Africans will never get this. Nope. That's why they don't have nothing on their mind. Why? It's because number one, it's too new of a soul, but number two, the conditionings are different. They have, even though they had colonization, they were colonized. It was a bulk. It was like a minority colonizing a majority. Always different than a majority colonizing a minority. You understand what I'm saying? So the only people really that can perceive the white man being the devil is mainly the ones in the United States. And if you notice, it's only a few of us, even in the United States, that can perceive the white man being the devil. But for just to get that less than 1%, it had to be a person that got kicked in the ass like that. I have met people from South Africa that can bear witness to the theology. I've met some girls from South Africa. When they heard it, they said, oh yes, we believe this motherfucker the devil. We didn't have the knowledge, but now since you taught it to us, yes, we can bear witness. You see what I'm saying? Yes, we can bear witness. But then again, on the other hand, because there are newer oppression, it would also be like the 1930s, which you couldn't go in the 1930s and tell everybody that the white man was a devil. You can now, but it takes a certain breed of people, and it also has something to do with ancient souls, also too. It also has something to do with ancient souls too. So now this whole Zaire thing that's going on right now is a ghost history and shit that they're putting in there to get you used to Africa being totally wiped out. Now, remember I was saying that that we had gone down to the lowest level we can go down to now, and you can actually see it. Blavatsky, in the Secret Doctrines, made an observation that the ancient Africans, the ancient Africans, as now they are called the laggards, or the most older races are called laggards, which means they have reached their zenith eons ago, and they're more like animals now. Now, not knowing metaphysics, or not looking on a higher dimension, I would think that was a very racist statement 5 years ago if I would have read that 5 years ago. But now I understand what's actually going on, and let me explain this to you. when she said that, she was actually getting it from the actual Moorish doctrines that had prophesied that. Now let me explain this to you so you can understand this. Let's say you have a line, and this is the starting point, right? This is the starting point. And you go through evolution, or what you would call your cycle, to the end point. To the end point. And this is the zenith point. Once you reach this zenith point, you start deteriorating. You understand what I'm saying? You start deteriorating. You understand where I'm coming from? That is because once you reach this zenith point, on this plateau you can no longer be functional. That's what's happening to black people. Because it's not negative, it's mean that you have advanced beyond this plateau. So in order to advance beyond this plateau, go beyond, as long as you stay on this plateau, you will deteriorate. And that's what's happening with black people. We got to go from this dimension. In order to further your evolution process, you got to start the cycle and go all the way back to the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? Because the beginning is all heaven. You understand what I'm saying? Or you have to go on another plateau like this. You understand? And start all over again. You get where I'm coming from? But on the same plateau, once you reach the same zenith point, you go into an involution or hibernation, and as long as you on this plateau, you can't do anything to help yourself. But it is only when you get to this particular zenith point that you can manifest to a newer being or a higher level in this plateau anyway. You understand where I'm coming from? So when they say you reach the laggard stage, understanding metaphysics, Blavatsky was right. The reason why black people all around the world, even Marcus Garvey said, everywhere I go, black people fucked up. The reason why we can't progress all around the world because we are an older race that has gone through a certain cycle of the physical realm. You understand what I'm saying? And once you go through that cycle and you go to the zenith point of that cycle, you can't go back to that cycle because you can't go backwards. It's like a corporate structure. You either go up or you got to get the fuck out. You understand what I'm saying? Well, it's the same. It's the same type thing. It's like if I fill a I fill a bottle full of water. Once the bottle is full of water, I can't go back. There can be no more water that could go back into the bottle. You understand what I'm saying? It means it has to come out. You understand the concept? That's what's happening with us because we are an older race, of the oldest race. We can't repeat this cycle, so we just stay in a limbo state or stagnant position till it becomes like a pressure cap and explodes till you can get free enough to go to the other realm. You understand what's coming from? This is a series of evolution that we're talking about here. And this is what's actually going on. So in actuality, even when you see the Africans, motherfuckers are damn near savage. You know, they're savage. Now we're not talking on the same level as some white boy from the 1930s saying the Africans are savage. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying we're savage into the point whereas there's things that the African used to could do that now the basic African has lost the concept until they just pitiful. And that's around the world, even us. You understand what I'm saying? But we are the only ones that's capable of being the Godhead that can manifest this thing. That's why the older souls are over here. So the whole Africa thing that's going on here is we went through that same Holocaust eons ago, and now the rest of them are going through that Holocaust. But they're going through the Holocaust, but we're over here getting ready to go and save them. You see what I'm saying? So that's the way it's going. We went through the Holocaust first. We went here and we went through the Holocaust. Now they are going through they are now reached the actual Holocaust, right? And we are actually going now to the original part, And once we go to the original point, we can illuminate, we run all of this. And we save the whole scoop of shit. You see what I'm saying? But they had to take a group of people out to train those particular people to be that particular entity. So slavery was a spiritual necessity. You got to understand that particular part. A spiritual necessity on what's going on. Now, I want to get into something right now because this is what's happening. This is very key that you understand this. It's very key that you understand this. In the book of Enoch, there's several versions of the book of Enoch. All of them. This one is called the Ethiopic book of Enoch. The key is that all the book of Enoch come from Ethiopia. They don't have another book that comes from Ethiopia. There's a Slavic book of Enoch that comes from Yugoslavia, which was brought up by the Moors. Which there's a black group of people. I met a sister about your complexion. She said she's from Yugoslavia. She said, I'm black. I said, well, you a minority? She said, no, there's a whole black element in Yugoslavia. She said, I'm a Moor.
Yeah.
That's right.
She said, I'm black, you know, and so they don't let you know there's black people in Europe.
That's right.
And I ain't talking about no one or two, I'm talking about people that's been there for years and years and years, and they don't let you know that shit.
That's right.
So there's a Yugoslavian book of Enoch also, too. And I was so yeah, I'm black, I'm a Moor. She went through her history and went all the way back to Africa and everything. And I was like, damn, you know, but you never know this shit. But anyway, there's the Yugoslavian book of Enoch, but all of the Ethiopian book of Enoch, all book of Enoch are from Ethiopia. So they just give you different versions. This, the one you want to get is by, is by R.S. Charles. R.S. Charles is put out by the Kessner book, that out-of-print book company. R.S. Charles. There's a guy that's #1 distributor for Kessner Books, a black guy in the Reading Terminal in Philadelphia. In the Reading Terminal in Philadelphia, it's a black guy. He's the #1 black distributor, and he sells that he sells the one R.H. Charles. He sells the R.H. Charles one. You know, he's right there in Philadelphia.
You said Reading?
In the Reading Terminal. I think let me see if I got his card. Let me see if I got his card in here. If I got his card, let me see what I bring to you. Let me see what I bring the man's card.
It's not Dale Jones, is it?
No, I know Dale, not Dale Jones. Dale Jones is the speaker. No, this guy got a bookstore.
Yeah, Dale had one too. But this guy bookstore got, I mean, shit, any book you want. He got it right there in Philly. I didn't bring it. No.
I mean, he got a huge selection, but he also has the Kessinger books in Philly. You know, he mail orders too. You can get stuff mail order. I'll get his number before I go or whatever. But anyway, any book of Enoch. Now, this is the key on what the point that we're at right now. We want to know, well, how long is this thing going to be and when is this shit going to be over? Well, you got to turn to the book of Enoch, because the book of Enoch is probably one of the most accurate books on prophecy. I mean, everything is so precise in prophecy and all, right? It's unbelievable. And in here, the book of Enoch is just a book that is all it talks about is killing the white man, if you understand. The word sin comes from the word skin, or it means restriction, or it means a person with a restricted body that cannot do completion of a cycle, or that cannot complete the will of God. The white man body is incapable of receiving salvation because it did not come from salvation. In the Gospel of Thomas, they say you will know the end when you find out where the beginning was. Because you fell from a certain point in time, and that's called the beginning. The ancient one called that getting back to the first day. So you fell. So when you fall, you're just trying to get back up the tree of life to the beginning, up the ladder. So you'll know the end when you become the beginning. But what it is they let the Afrocentric movement go on because you stopped at Africa. And the cracker had all the shit of Atlantis, Lemuria, and all the ancient stuff and all, when you just halfway point and you thinking that's the shit. You know? You thinking that's the shit and all, but you was millions and millions and millions, 66 trillion years old. It was an accurate number that Muhammad gave because we can't trace our history. You see what I'm saying? So when you know the end, you'll know the beginning. So, and that's in the Gospel of Thomas and all, which is the true sayings of Jesus. They took the Gospel of Thomas and other scriptures and made the historical Jesus, which never existed. A group of writers got together, Paul and all the motherfuckers got together, and they was writing for the Roman government. The government signed them up and said, yeah, look, we need a religion for us, and we need one that control people. So we want to say that we know that ultimately man is God and God is man, because the Romans used to practice that. They say, but we want to make a God. We want to make a God, one person. We want to take all the Christ energy that's supposed to be meant for the masses of black people, and we want to put it on one person. And so they'll worship that one person. They don't realize the God in themselves. This particular Jesus is the spiritual entity of the Christ consciousness that's coming back to tell you that heaven is within and all this. And this Jesus in the Gospel of Thomas is the one. They took this Jesus and copied, they plagiarized this, and they made the other one into a historical figure and telling you that you need to be obedient and pray all the damn time and all that shit. This Jesus is telling you don't need to do none of that shit. It's telling you basically this Jesus don't have nothing to do with moralism. Because moralism is a system mainly for the white man to control himself because he's a beast, but it's also a system to keep a black man in bondage. That's the curse of Ham, and you start reading another motherfucking book that was meant for him. Because he can't do nothing but deal with moralism because he don't have a spirit that's righteous in the first place. You see, so so what it was is the word Jesus. When they dug up these Gnostic scriptures in 1945 and they found this Jesus and the teaching was totally different, that's because this was an original person that never was on the planet. It was prophesied to come. That the Romans came in and plagiarized and said he was there already and broke that scripture. Because in that one he tells you that there's a certain Gnostic race with a Gnostic seed called the essence, which is melanin. And it says that there's 3 different races of men, and there's one physical man who won't make it because he's only on the physical. And he will be destroyed. So they had to change all that shit around. They couldn't have a religion where they separate. And so this religion here is telling you that everybody and shit, and you gotta love a motherfucking cracker, although he killed your mama and raped your mama and shit and cut open her belly. You gotta love this motherfucker based on a goddamn word.
All right.
That ain't got shit to do with the original religion. The original religion, the Gnostic scripture in the original one, they asked Jesus in there, they said, shouldn't we be on our own? He said, indeed, you're supposed to be on your goddamn own. You're not supposed to intermix with them. They say there's 2 races of people on the planet, basically. The one in between they're going to have to sift out, but they still break it down to 2. Because they got to sift out. They got some people over in Asia and different places where you got a mixture of black people and a mixture of a mutant. They got to sift out in Arabia and different things like that. But basically you ain't got 2 people, a physical man and a spiritual man. You see what I'm saying? And they say these 2 races of people, although they look like you can't tell the difference other than a shade of dark and all, and they got various shades, and we even got light-skinned white black people, although they got a head and 2 arms